For some, winning the lottery would be a life-changing experience, even a dream come true. But giving millions of dollars to someone with minimal common sense usually doesn't tend to work out too well. However, this is exactly what happens every now and then to a few lucky and, let's just say, not so smart bunch.
I gotta do it, man.
Ready to see the crazy ways you can blow through millions fast? Well, sit back and relax because you're about to see the dumbest lottery winners in history. Christina Goodnow. Her mistake cost her $1 million. It all started on October 9th, 2005, when she bought a scratch ticket that ended up being the winning lottery ticket. Simple as that. The catch? Well, she bought it using a credit card that belonged to her boyfriend's deceased mother. And if you didn't know, that's considered a crime. She ended up winning $1 million and chose to receive the payments in installments once a year, which ended up being $33,500 per year after taxes. Here's how the plot thickens. She continued to use the deceased mother's credit card to buy things, and soon after, the police caught on and began investigating. She was arrested and charged with identity theft, forgery, and fraud, along with the possession of narcotics. To add insult to injury, in 2012, after a long legal battle, she ended up having to forfeit her entire $1 million winnings to the police department.
No! God, please, no! No!
Armando Lopez. Chiming in to buy lottery tickets with your friends or coworkers is very common, and a lot of people do it, not thinking that they would actually win. Armando Lopez was no different. He was working construction at the time when he and his coworkers decided to gather their money to buy a lottery ticket. They tasked Lopez with buying the ticket, and much to his surprise, it ended up being the Mega Millions ticket. Now this is where things take a turn. He got greedy and wanted to take the entire pot. He betrayed all his coworkers and blatantly lied to their faces, telling them that he simply didn't win anything, when in reality, it was more than $17 million after taxes. They believed him, but 7 months later, Lopez came clean to one of his coworkers about the real reason he quit his job months earlier. The man told the other coworkers, and the truth was finally out. A case was built against him, and he ended up having to give up the money and completely lost their trust and friendship. On top of that, he got a huge amount of backlash and a ton of hate. Guess that's what happens when you get greedy.
You ever think about what would have happened if you would have, stayed the course?
Ian Galtris. The odds of winning the lottery are 9.2 million to 1. Now imagine beating those odds only to lose the winning ticket. Ian Galtris, a British engineer, bought 2 Euro Millions tickets, one for himself and one for his girlfriend. His ticket was one digit off the main winner, which guaranteed a staggering $1.65 million. Well, in an act of carelessness, Galtris lost his winning tickets, and as he was watching the live announcement, his heart sank. Imagine realizing you literally had $1.6 million in the palm of your hand. Now, the 41-year-old says that he became severely depressed for years, but I guess it was just not meant to be. Callie Rogers. Winning the lottery at a young age is a two-edged sword, and Callie Rogers is proof of that saying. She was the youngest girl in Britain to ever win a lottery ticket. In 2003, at the mere age of 16, she received a whopping £1.9 million, which equates to roughly $2.5 million. Going from being a teenager in foster care to winning an insane amount of money completely flipped her life around. She immediately quit her job as a checkout cashier, from which she was making $5 an hour, and dove headfirst into a life of luxury. Rogers spent thousands on plastic surgery, designer clothes, makeup, tattoos, and sports cars, not to mention a staggering $330,000 on a single vacation. She treated others too, spending $155,000 on gifts for her former boyfriends. From money-leeching boyfriends to the wildest parties, a couple of months later she was left penniless. Overwhelmed and depressed, Rogers attempted to take her own life, but was luckily found by her family before it was too late. Now, at 32 years old, Callie is a mom of 3 and lives a happy life with her family. She's fighting to try change the law to raise the age limit for winning lottery tickets in an effort to protect young teenagers from going through the same thing she did. Carroll. In a mere 5 years, he blew his entire lottery winnings. Carroll won the UK National Lottery at the age of 19 and was awarded roughly 14 million US dollars. At the time, he was working as a bin man and didn't even have his own bank account. He was also engaged to a 7 months pregnant girlfriend, and the two got married in 2003. She divorced him shortly after, claiming that he was cheating on her, and took $1.5 million of his prize as settlement. All alone in his empty mansion, Carroll started throwing the wildest parties, spending a staggering $50,000 on each of them. The parties were insane. For $50,000, we'll leave what he did up to your imagination. He started abusing substances and soon found himself spending $2,500 a day to fuel his addiction. He would buy cars just to smash them and Big Macs to throw at pedestrians, and by the end of the year, he had more than 30 court cases against him. By 2012, Carroll was completely broke and back to square one. Amanda Clayton. Amanda Clayton's greed and lust for money completely ruined her life. Clayton, who was from Michigan, won $1 million in a local lottery game show called Make Me Rich. Now, despite her winning, she continued collecting welfare checks and food stamps for almost a year. She pocketed more than $5,000, which was later ordered to repay after she was arrested and charged with fraud and 9 months of probation. Her claim as to why she kept collecting the welfare checks? Well, she said that she, quote, thought it would be fine since I don't have a job. Yeah, no job but $1 million in cash. Now, Amanda unfortunately passed away in her home in 2012 from what police claimed to be an overdose. Jonathan Vargas. Jonathan Vargas won the Powerball in 2008. He was 19 at the time and decided to trust his intuition and went ahead to buy the Powerball ticket. His intuition was right and he ended up winning $17.3 million after taxes. Initially, he took the right steps and hired a financial advisor, a lawyer, and an accountant. Yet, he went against all their advice and decided to invest all his money in one project that he thought would set him up for life. It was a TV production company. Vargas created and produced a show that focused on women wrestling, WWE style, in bikinis. He put most of his money into the show, but unfortunately, it was cancelled after 1 season and never aired again. His life became a downward spiral after the failure of his TV show, and within a couple of years, the rest of his fortune was completely blown. Jack Whittaker. Prior to winning the lottery, Jack Whittaker Jr. was already a successful businessman with a net worth of around $17 million. On Christmas Eve of 2002, the Powerball jackpot was $170 million cash. Whittaker said that he would only play the lottery when the jackpot was over $100 million. So when he found out, he tried his luck and bought $100 worth of tickets. On Christmas Day, he found out he was actually the winner, which equated to $113 million after taxes. Whittaker chose to donate 10% of his prize money to charity and to his own non-profit organization. He even bought a house and a nice car for the convenience store clerk from whom he bought the ticket. But less than a year later, trouble started to arise. Thieves broke into his car, where he had $545,000 in cash in a suitcase, and stole it. Then, just a year later, another $200,000 was stolen from him in similar fashion. When asked why he had so much money on him, he responded, "Because I can." His life became a series of unfortunate and tragic events that were never ending, from his wife leaving him, to his daughter and granddaughters passing away, to his house getting destroyed by fire. All these events left Whittaker regretting ever buying the ticket. He passed away in 2020 after a long battle with illness at the age of 72. Billy Bob Harrell Jr. Billy, a father of 3, struggled to make ends meet. He would buy lottery tickets twice a week in an attempt to win money to be able to provide for his family. He was so used to losing that when he actually had the winning ticket, he didn't even realize until days later. The prize money ended up being a staggering $31 million. With it, Carroll bought a nice house for himself and another for his family members. He even generously donated a lot of money to the church and the churchgoers. But, as they say, no good deed goes unpunished. Things went south really quick. People started to take advantage of his generosity, and everyone started asking for money. His wife divorced him, and he started dating younger women. Just 2 years after winning the lottery ticket, Harold tragically ended his own life. He left a note in which he wrote that winning the lottery was the worst thing that has ever happened to him, and that all he wanted was to go back to his old life and live with his wife. Still dreaming of winning the lottery? Yeah, Probably not. But what would you do if you won the lottery yourself? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. And while you're down there, why not subscribe so you never miss a video? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.